Ladies and gentlemen, he's the samurai of student ministry, the networking ninja, a Jedi master of church budgets, the beast from the southeast, the next-gen nerd himself, CJ!
What's up, my nerds? Welcome to the Next Gen Nerd Podcast. It's Miyazaki May, so all month we're looking at movies by Hayao Miyazaki, and today's interview is with my sister Steph Dobson, and we're talking about My Neighbor Totoro. Before we jump in, though, I've got a handful of things to let you know about, and it is a handful. There's 5 of them. Number 1, if you'd like the content, make sure you're subscribed either via your podcast app or on YouTube. That's right, we're on YouTube at nextgen_nerd. And if you're listening on iTunes, please leave us a review so that others can find the show. That'd be great. And if you're on YouTube, like and drop a comment so we can go ahead and share that on here and others can find the content. We'll read all those reviews and comments on the show next week, so go ahead and get them in. Number 2, you can follow us on all the socials. We're on just about all of them to get updates on shows and some additional content throughout the week. Like this last week, we had a video by my boys singing a song that has no words. You have to go and check it out on our YouTube. On Instagram and on Twitter, you can find us at nextgen_nerd, and you can find all our social info and past episodes on our website, nextgennerd.com. You can also share any episode from there to your social media, and that'd be greatly appreciated. Number 3, our Discord is up and running, and I'm dropping some additional stuff over there, and there's a whole podcast category where you can suggest topics or guests. The link for the Discord is going to be in the show notes, so you can access that there, and if you can't find it there, reach out to us on one of our socials, and I'll get you connected. Number 4, we now have merch. We're working on uploading new designs, but if you want a logo t-shirt or a logo hoodie or a pillow with my face on it, you can go on Amazon and search Next Gen Nerd, and it'll come up, and you can order that, and it'll get shipped to you. And if you want a magnet or a sticker, just reach out to us some way, and we can make that happen. So you can go ahead and rep the Next Gen Nerd podcast. And lapel pins, I guess, are coming in soon as well. So we'll have more information about that soon. Finally, number 5, if all that seems a bit complicated, you can just send me an email and ask about any of this. Our email is nextgennerdpodcast@gmail.com. All right, I think that's about everything. It's time to start the interview. Let's get nerdy. Well, guys, like I mentioned earlier, I am excited to have my sister, Stephanie, on with me today talking My Neighbor Totoro. Steph, how you doing?
I am doing awesome.
So good. So, I saw Rocky's man cave when we did the episode on Helldivers, and he had a whole room that you put together for him. You got a door with a beautiful, beautiful drape over it.
Yes. So I am actually in the hallway for what will be my office.
Okay.
And I just haven't painted it or really finished it. So I'm not wanting to reveal it's just this whole house is this weird peach color that just makes me more sad than anything. So I'm just covering it up slowly but surely. So
okay.
Next time.
What emotions does peach bring out in someone? I don't know that I've ever been in a peach home.
It's almost worse than beige in that it's mental asylum peach.
Yeah. No, I got
it.
Wasn't that the color on the walls in the hotel in oh my gosh, I can't remember the Jack Nicholson movie. Here's Johnny. Stanley Kubrick.
The Shining.
The Shining. Were they? Yeah, I think that color was heavily used in that movie. I think it was.
Yes, it is something that they think is supposed to make you calm, but can really actually, I feel make you more nutso. So this will eventually be sage green and very earthy. So much more.
Nice. This is a little bit of a rabbit trail, but The Shining is on this list of 100 movies. I got this scratch off poster. You have to watch these movies. And I got 45 minutes in, and I was like, I don't like this. I don't like being scared. I don't have to finish this list. I do not have to watch this movie. I tried. Turn it off. Yeah. I don't want to know.
I forced Rocky to watch it while we were in Germany in lockdown. And I was like, listen, I have watched so many documentaries, so many horror movies. You are going to watch The Shining with me. And I forgot how messed up certain parts of it were. Yeah. And he would just look at me are you kidding me? I'm like, we had to finish it. We gotta finish this movie now. And then once he was done, I was like, all right, now you've seen it. Same for Rocky Picture Horror Show. I was like, Yeah, it's a ride, but you are now gonna have to watch it just once, just so you can
Okay.
say I did.
Have you seen the sequel to The Shining? I haven't seen it.
No, it looks terrifying. I can't even really read his books. I've only ever read Misery, and that's as scary as I can get because I am a very big wimp when it comes to
Mm,
scary. I mean,
mm.
me and mom were literally forever scarred by the same horror film.
Which one?
Do you know this?
No, which one?
Okay, so what movie? Do you know which movie mom forever got scared? Why she always has a garage door opener?
No, the only garage door I can think of is Scream when her head got crushed in the door. But
The Omega Man. It's an old like
ooh,
vampire
I would
zombie
not.
movie.
I would not call that a horror movie. Which Omega Man was the precursor to I Am Legend. I Am
Yep,
Legend.
and
So
that one scarred me forever. I had nightmares for 3 months.
I'm sorry. We're not getting anywhere into the topic yet. But
I know.
have you heard the episode that I did on I Am Legend where I talk about how the scariest part of the movie for me, I thought I made up in my mind until I was doing research. So
Is it this one?
no,
Where they're
that's not
oh,
it.
okay.
That's not it. In the scene where he's driving through New York and the mannequin is set up as a trap. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I could have sworn that the mannequin's head turned and looked at him as he drove by. And I thought, have they put on this mannequin outfit to
Yeah.
get him? I'm like, that can't be it. And it scared me, terrified me. I was doing research for the movie, and they put mimes in costume to move a little bit while the movie's going on, just to show how it's meant. So his head does move. I went back and watched,
Okay.
and it goes and just looks right at him. Oh,
I
I
feel
do
like
adore
that
movies.
also just hints at how scary when you're like the last man on earth, right? You're gonna go a little crazy, right? You can go, your dog becomes your entire personality. You got all those almanacs, like the one behind you. You're on the road.
I can almost guarantee you, though, I won't have a dog wandering around with me at the end of the world. I don't think
No, that's true. You'll
that's.
have the volleyball, like Love
Yes,
Wilson.
yes, yes. I'll have Wilson. That sounds good. That sounds good. Oh my goodness, we're gonna go off 19 other rabbit trails as we keep going because
This
I
is
keep.
the ADHD, you know?
It is. It is. Well, this is what happens when I call you on the phone. Like I'm
That
just
is
gonna.
true.
It's gonna be a 10-minute phone call, and then 3 hours later, I'm like, okay, I've been in the driveway for 45 minutes. I should probably go inside and see my family. I probably should.
But absolutely delightful. So
It is. It is. So, I have this question, and then I think we've already answered it. 70, what was it like growing up with a nerdy brother? Like, what was it?
I loved that this was your first question too. You're like, so what's it like having me, a super nerd, or a brother?
And I've always been
No,
this way. I've always been this way. There is no change. There is no change. It's just I've
I
accumulated more nerd stuff over the
yeah,
years.
exactly. I was gonna say the first thing I thought of is when me and Rocky first started dating, he was actually really surprised that I was totally fine just sitting and watching him play a video game. But that's kind of how it was when we were kids, right? Like we had these cartoons
Hmm.
like Link or X-Men that also had video games. So I would just space out while you watch the video game and kind of like make up the story.
Okay. Okay.
So I was like, and let's be fair, I also got my way plenty of times with all the cooking shows and
Right.
trading spaces and stuff like that. But no, I mean, I think that I was just happy to be included a lot of the times with you, Logan. And so it was like, I'm just here watching you play video game.
No, that's good. That's good. You really were along for the ride in so many ways. In so many
Yeah.
ways, having me and Logan, two brothers. And then the next one in line was Sean, and that was 12 years difference for me. How many years? 8 years for you. And so I can see that. I can see that. I remember even you would come and play airsoft with us. We would go and play
Yes.
airsoft.
I was gonna say, I mean, and in my own right, I think I'm a bit nerdy. I mean, I have those things like The Last Unicorn I was obsessed with, why we're here today, but also I'm gonna go ahead, and not that we've had enough tangents already, but I wanted to give my unpopular opinion about some nerd lore because I think it's actually relevant right now.
Let's take it. Let's take it.
The Mario Brother movie from the 90s. I
Yeah.
loved it. I loved it.
I did too. I did too. It's so bad though. It is so bad though, right? It is so bad. It's so bad.
Isn't that why it's great? Because you're
so.
just like, it's such a, for me, that's exactly what I do with the video games I played though. I like, it's the most simple, boring video games, which actually ties us into the next one. But it's just that I need a little more going on. So I just kind of make up little stories in my head, like Mickey's the true villain, and no one can convince me otherwise.
I like it. I like it. If you haven't listened to How Did This Get Made's episode on the Mario movie, you should watch it. While I wholeheartedly agree with you that I enjoyed the movie, objectively, I have to say it's a steaming pile of garbage. And they go over kind of why it is that way, and some of the scenes that did make it in, they're like, this would have been like even more. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Check it out. Check it out. So you were along for the ride. You participated in all these things. Some of it has rubbed off and stayed. What are some of your top current nerdy interests, Stephanie?
Well, I do have what I was just calling cozy games on Switch, what they were calling. So like I've got Animal Crossing and Disney Dreamlight Valley, and that's where, I said Mickey is the real villain in my valley, and there's some more excitement that way with those video games. But the whole point of those is just so that you have kind of these daily tasks to do, where you're in your village or your valley and you're sort of in charge of things, and you get to decorate it, which is not the best part of like Sims, was decorating the house. So having games that let out that little creative outlet, so nice. But I also really love young adult fantasy, so things from Harry Potter, the Hunger Games, Throne of Glass, Ugly series. And then I also just have a rotating list of my ADHD hyperfixation craft hobby. So that's if I panned around this room, you would probably see like different projects. I've got like, scrapbooking, bullet journal, painting, bath bombs.
Right. There you go.
Mentioned this before, so
I'll say this. If you want to tap into a nerd market with bath bombs, you just have to assign them random Star Wars names or whatever else. I would never have spent $5 a bar of soap on Squatch soap, but when it's Star Wars themed, it's like, I wonder, I might like that. So there's room there.
There's a market for everything.
I don't know that I would ever buy a bath bomb for me. I feel like, golly, I don't know that I could do that. I don't like sitting in warm water anyways. And so even if it was fizzing and bubbling, I don't know that I would like that. That's
why I make shower bombs.
There you go.
So they make the shower smell nice.
Which would be good. So awesome. So plenty of nerdy interest. Love to hear it. Well, today we're talking about a specific nerdy interest. And actually, the entire month of Miyazaki May was kind of birthed on the back of you wanting to do My Neighbor Totoro. And I was like, okay, we'll talk about that. And then I had another person that I was asking if they wanted to do an interview, and they picked another Miyazaki film. And I was like, okay, so we'll put these two together and flesh out the whole month of May, and we'll talk about Miyazaki. And so this was my first introduction to Miyazaki, My Neighbor Totoro. I've watched several since then, of course. And I'm sure it was probably the same for you. I remember watching this movie on repeat growing up. Like, I remember we watched this all the time. And so watching it now, I go, why the heck did this latch on to us? Why was it that this was so first, Stephanie, why is it that you love My Neighbor Totoro?
So I got that VHS that I think we really wore out from Issa down the road. And she was a bit of an odd duck, right? Love it, but she introduced me to this kind of odd duck of a movie too. And the thing that I really like about just Studio Ghibli in general, or in Miyazaki, is just that he is able to do these fantastical, whimsical stories, but they're in a very natural world setting and kind of adjacent to our own. And typically there's a lot of female leads in there, and you're defeating things through your wits and stuff. But with My Neighbor Totoro, the biggest plot line to me is that there's a sick mom and the little girl goes on an adventure. And it's a little sad, but this movie came into our lives around the same time that mom had breast cancer. So for me, it was really nice to in the end, mom's okay, right? She gets to meet this really fluffy thing. I can't wait to squeal about the cat bus because every time I see it, just brings me so much joy. But it's just this like happy-go-lucky movie where there is like some drama, but it's very quickly resolved. And it was, I think when I was looking up today, it's like the second film they ever made under that studio. And so yeah, I just think it's just so wholesome.
Yeah. I had never made that connection. The fact that you're right, that we would have, especially since we know that you got it from Issa, who was an odd duck. I mean, I remember she showed up at the door one Saturday and you weren't there. You were somewhere else. And she walked past us and came in and still played in your room. Like, that's okay. She don't have to be here. And she just went and played with your stuff.
She's like, she said it was cool. All right. Yeah, she said I could play with you.
She'll be back in a few hours. I'll wait for her. And like, again, second grade kids doing this. It was just kind of funny. But no, I never made that connection. But you're right. That was about the same time that mom would have been going through that. And I'm sure that was maybe another piece of it. And again, cat bus is enough in itself to think, I don't even like cats, but my goodness, if one made that noise and would take me super fast places, I would, I'd jump in. That works. That tracks. And so, I'm going to poke the bear a little bit here. When we found it again, you hated it. Why was it when we found it again that you hated it?
Are you talking about the newer dub?
Yes,
because
yes.
I was going to say, I was like, I have a copy of the original. So the first dub came out like right when the original movie actually came out. And then Disney got the rights and they have the Fanning sisters. Absolutely nothing against them. But it is so jarring to a little against it because it's so jarring. I knew and loved this movie with these very specific voices. Can you imagine turning on Star Wars and it's just a completely different voice actor? If it was like, Luke, it's me, your papa, you'd be like, no, it's not the movie. So
I have a similar experience. I read a series of books, and I read the first 17 books in this series before I realized that there were things called audiobooks. And then I listened to a full cast audiobook, and the entire time I'm going, that is not the voice. That is not the one that's in my head. Like, that's not it. So I get it.
Or even names, how names are pronounced.
Yes.
I've had a few series where you're like, in your head.
The cadence and everything else. No, I get it. I remember you were not a fan. Yeah. I had to sell my soul and dive into the dark web to find a torrent with the original dubbing on. I couldn't find it anywhere, and I finally found one, and I was like, okay, but you have to open it with this program and use this thing here to adjust the audio track. So no, I get it.
And I still have that zip drive, and it's very treasured to me, and I check on it every move. I make sure it's with our jewelry.
We checked our safety deposit box, the Totoro safety deposit box, not the one with the jewelry.
Yeah. I have the DVD with the Fanning sisters only because I didn't realize. I got so pumped, and then I was like, I think I got all of, because through the theme song they even redid that, and so I was like, something's off here. This doesn't sound.
I haven't looked to see if there's an option, because they're on HBO Max now. All of them are on HBO Max.
Yeah.
I haven't looked to see if there was an option of adjusting that. I'm sure probably not. But I wonder if you would get lucky and go, well, here's the question. Have you tried watching it with subtitles to see if that's more enjoyable or less enjoyable than... I
was going to say, I'm very tempted at this point just to watch it in Japanese with English subtitles, because even in doing some research for this, because I wanted to sort of like refamiliarize myself, there are some storylines that get left out, which I think are so cute. Like if you remember when Suzuki sends a letter to her mother with a little crab in the corner that she draws, where she's making fun of her sister May, I just found out today it's because there's a like Japanese folklore about a crab who literally plants things in the garden and is too impatient to wait for it to grow. And so she was making fun of her sister, saying she's just like the garden crab. She's not waiting, But we don't get any of that context in the English dub. And I was like, oh, that's cute. I like that.
I wonder if there would even be context, though, if you were watching the subtitle. I mean, I wonder if how much of that is this is just what we understand. Like it's an idiom that,
right.
Yeah. So I think really what we have to do now is go to Japan to watch it there. I think that would fix it.
Do you know that there's a Ghibli theme park?
I'm in. I started watching there's actually a documentary on HBO on Miyazaki, and actually what happened with the deterioration of the studio and him coming back to do a computer animated one. It's very interesting, very interesting. I could totally see them wanting to
Is that
to develop it.
Ponyo? He came back for Ponyo?
No, he retired and came back several times. This one was his
Okay.
first CGI film, which I think was, I don't know what it was, but it was several years, several times. I don't know, maybe Ponyo. But it's really funny because he's talking about how like he's been really very studious about his health, as he's got a cigarette in his mouth as he's talking, and I do everything I can, and I'm going, I don't smoke, and I do eat a lot of cheeseburgers. Maybe he's onto something. Maybe I need to stop eating cheeseburgers, stop smoking, and I'll be a skinny Japanese guy. That's how.
There we go. I was gonna say, just
I'm getting
more
cancer. That's what's happening. Yeah. So you got the dub, and the dub was you have the original now, so you can enjoy that. But one thing I've noticed as I've watched several of Studio Ghibli's movies, and Miyazaki in particular, is the movie always ends with this like glimmer of hope. It's almost it's not like there's a bow on it, but like you've got it all pulled and you're ready to pull the bow tight. That's when it ends. Before you pull the bow tight. And so there's all this room. And he, I don't know that there's a Miyazaki cinematic universe where they're all tied together. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I would love to see a chart on that one though. And so through the several weeks that we're looking at Miyazaki, this question I put on all of them is what would you do with a sequel? And I didn't put it on yours, but on others, or a spinoff, a sequel or a spinoff. Like I would want to see more of this, and we won't spoil the movie. I mean, the movie came out like around the time I was born, but if you haven't seen it yet, it's on HBO Max. Go watch it. But what would you do with a sequel or a spinoff of My Neighbor Totoro?
This was a very exciting, creative little adventure for me. Thank you. So they do show in the final credits, mom coming back, and I didn't rewatch the final credits, but I could have swore that they also show a younger sibling being introduced into the picture, which is where I would want to see it, right? I want mom to be back and healthy and happy, and I want there to be a new baby brother who is at like this stage where they're babbling and kind of mobile, but not the good mobile. It's like always getting into trouble type of thing.
Yep.
And then I want for Totoro to be under attack. So the town has been going under construction, and through this, a ancient trickster god has been awakened and is sort of threatening the forest and Totoro himself. And so now they have to think like, I want it to be almost like Goonies-esque.
Okay.
And so it's like hijinks and just sort of having to defeat that through wit, kind of going back into that. And I also would love for a little extra thing. I know, I thought about it a lot.
No.
Right?
No, you're talking, and one thought ran through my head, and it was cat bus, and then the sequel creep is dog plane. There's cat bus and dog plane, and that's why I started laughing. I'm sorry. Continue with your
dog
story.
Plane.
Yeah.
But he has to be shaped like the old airplane movie. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's good. That's real good. Continue.
So another little element I'd love to see in the sequel too, though, is that mom is actually more in tune with the spirit world and keeps checking up on the kids and secretly helping them. And only we, the viewer, would know that. So it would just be like, where they'd have maybe they're looking for something and then boom, it appears where they're at. And, mom's in the background, like, yes. Something like that, so I think a new baddie coming in, maybe making it a bit more, I think movies of his like Howl's Moving Castle or Spirited Away can be a little bit more dramatic in a way. And I would love to kind of see that, because this is just such a like kiddie, wholesome cleanser type of thing. And I would like to see a bit more drama. Where's the drama, Miyazaki?
Yeah, if Issa had brought over Princess Mononoke or
what a different woman I would be.
Or Spirited Away. No. You wouldn't have been. It'd have been thrown away. It'd have been thrown away.
That's true.
Because Scott would have seen it and been like, that's demons out.
That is true, actually.
It's gone. And it was much darker. So it would not have been this fun, like, oh, it's this fun cat bus thing. And so how fortuitous that it was It was My Neighbor Totoro. Whereas I was going, who was the villain? There wasn't a villain. The villain was
There wasn't.
family stress, and so it's like, okay, yeah, we can deal with that.
Just family dynamics.
Yes. And a annoying little sister that always runs away. That'll do it. They're
Those
the
little
worst.
sisters, man.
They're the worst. So no, I like that. I like that. Also, while you were talking, I thought Fishboat. You've got Cat Bus, you got Dog Plane, and Fishboat. Fishboat makes more sense than Dog Plane. I thought Bat Plane or Bird Plane maybe, but
Owl Plane.
Owl Plane. High five. That was good. But Fishboat. I want to see Fishboat where they get on a fish. Yeah,
sure.
There you go. Surely these characters exist. Surely they exist. It's not just some weird one cat. Ooh, what if there was like 2 cat buses fighting in an alley? That would be, and they're inside the cat bus, and it's
the bad guy has his own cat bus.
Yes, a black cat bus. Yes, that'd be so good, so good. Oh, speaking of cat bus, I put this is just a quick. You're in this world.
Yeah,
you have the choice of either having Totoro as a neighbor / friend or cat bus. Like you have one or the other. You can't have both. You can't say, well, I'm going to have Totoro and he's going to call on cat bus. Only one of these exists. Which one do you want? Totoro or cat bus?
So I've had a gut reaction to this and I have to stick with it. And my gut is cat bus. 100%. Okay. Because can you imagine how much time I spend in a car visiting family, visiting people, traveling all the time. If I could kick back in that cat bus with my doggos inside, it'd be like, yeah, cat bus, Maga's house. Maga's house. And then I'd be like there in 2 seconds. It'd be great.
That would be cool. That would be really cool. I do agree that for convenience factor, for convenience level, yes. I would say having My Neighbor Totoro, though, I mean, the big reason why I don't like animals is because they don't listen. They don't behave. They drive me crazy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
As a kid, they're going to bite you. They don't know. They're just being animals. Like I know that they're just being animals. But the thought of having an animal that like can empathize and listen and help, a little more sentient. I do like that. Like when I'm playing video games, there are times where I'll pick characters that have an animal companion, but that animal companion does what I ask it to do. I'm cool with that. You're going to listen to me. You're going to go help me get that over there. So I can see that being enjoyable. That would be fun. And let's be honest, if I didn't put this as an option, but if there was a giant tree in my backyard that I could go and like play in, I would pick that. I'd pick that. Like if there's this giant shade tree that I'm going to go back there, I would do that. That'd be good.
That was always really cool too. The idea of like how they would get in and out of that big tree. Like because we had briefly in our neighborhood that, I mean, what was that? A retention pond that had grown over and we just climbed in there like the feral children we were.
Yeah, it was like a copse of trees. It's somebody else, and it was somebody else's property, but we're like, whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Put a fence up, dude. Or if you don't put a fence up.
It's our clubhouse now.
Yeah. Eminent domain, okay? Mandate from God. We're gonna go play in those trees because we're kids and there are trees there and there's not a fence. We're going. Yeah, we were definitely criminals. But that was fun. That was also where Logan fell from the very top of the tree all the way to the bottom. History of Logan.
Tale as old as time.
Yes. So Stephanie, so your training, your education is in behavioral casework and working with children that are going through stressful situations or have developmental delays and things like that. And I thought it would be fun to look at this story of 2 sisters who claim that there's this giant kangaroo creature that takes them on magical journeys inside cats to go see their ailing mother. And I think you would probably go, I think there's something going on here. Like there is definitely something. So
hey, honey, can you see the big fluffy raccoon thing now?
Are they here in the room with us right now? So I just thought it'd be fun. So you're handed this case file, and they say this is your next patient, your next clients. Can you kind of walk us through how you would handle this situation in real world scenarios? Besides, like, cat bus, please take me. I want to go.
Here's some meds, little one. No. So I first thought of Sasuke because she's our like main character, right? And kind of that pivotal moment it comes from she keeps bottling up how she's really feeling about this family crisis. Throughout the movie, it kind of seems like she hides away that inner monologue to not be a burden during that time. And in the end, she ends up snapping at her sister and like going off and like feeling bad about it as well. And I just thought for her, just basic talk therapy space would be so helpful, right? She gets to sort of air things out. She feels heard. She doesn't have to, feel so closed off and everything. And I think that would alleviate a lot of that stress she feels. For May, little May there, okay. May needs a bit more supervision, all right? She is still baby, but she definitely needs more boundaries and clear communication. Okay. I was thinking about how a lot of times the natural instinct is to put on softer gloves during a scary time, but that's clearly not working for her. And to me,
so give her one of these.
No, what I'm seeing is a child who knows there's information being withheld and is mad about it. Okay. So I would want to see a visual schedule or like rules, like very clear structure for her because she is up in the clouds and a bit of a, we're going to say, thank goodness she's there for the plot, Okay.
Okay. All right.
Hanta, because I can't leave him out because I just immediately, I love him. Straightforward, just the ABA, that's what I used to do. The applied behavior analysis in the house, teaching him how to do better communication skills without freaking out, and regulating his body. Because I just always think of the first scene where the two girls say hi to him and gets, and it's like, okay, honey, it's all right. Don't explode. We're going to talk about it.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And for dad, good old dad, parent support group.
Okay.
They're going through a crisis. Your partner's sick. You need some support. And to know too, like, I think dad actually did a pretty good job in this movie. One of my favorite scenes is actually involving the little sit sprites, because I do love those little guys. But the girls are scared, and rather than like invalidating that fear, dad finds a way to like make them feel heard, but also distract them and make them laugh and in the end.
Oh, this is when he's in the hot tub, right? Where they're in the sauna.
Yes,
laughing.
I know. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
These are some cultural things to know too, because I remember I was like, I don't bathe with my dad. Like, this is weird. But then, but Issa was I'm trying to remember if they were actually Japanese or not. But
no, they were Italian. She was Italian.
They were Italian.
It was short for Isabel. Was what Issa was short for.
Was it really?
I'm fairly certain. Well, because you got Nicholas. Nicholas was. Well,
I just remember spelled with a Y. Issa with a Y.
Okay, well maybe I'm wrong on that. I thought it was short for Isabel, but Isabella. But they're definitely Italian.
Know a whole lot about.
I was gonna completely dox her with her last name, but I won't do that. I won't do that.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to spell it fully.
No. If you know an Issa who was really into My Neighbor Totoro, circa 1992, this is who we're talking about.
Hey, girl, I hope you turned into a cat like you always dreamed.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, that was a good looking family. Every one of them was handsome. It was
They had the coolest toys too.
They did. Yeah, Nicholas, actually I saw him recently. He's back in Gainesville and he was working for a AC company. He was military for a while and came back and was doing that. So he seems to be doing well. Well, the last question I have for you for this is you have several dogs.
Yes.
And
right here.
And not one of your dogs has ever been named Campus or Totoro. And so I want to know why. First, tell us the names of your dogs, where you got those names. Because some people are like, well, maybe she just likes normal dog names. She doesn't. So give us the names of the dogs, and then tell us why Totoro maybe hasn't made the list yet.
No, I'm definitely not one of those people who's like Bob or Henry for animals. That is more upsetting for me. But what I have is Lola, because she is a miniature dachshund, perfect little thing. So she's obviously Lola the showgirl, and then we have this guy over here.
But it's not just Lola, right? Isn't it like more than just Lola?
Lola Lemon. Yeah, she has her middle name, but that was because she was so sick for her first like 6 months. We were like, we got a lemon dog. This dog is always in the vet. So
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then And then after her, we got Copa, who is right here, is a little blonde corgi mix. And it stands for Copacabana because he is definitely just, I don't know. There's no thoughts, just vibes. But a lot of feelings, actually. He's my crazy one for sure. And then I have Loki, who came with a name that was like Loey. And so I didn't know what that meant, and I wasn't going to continue it. Loki is close enough. And it is kind of funny though, because he's like the opposite of chaos. He would be like even going off of a path. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. We got to stick to the sidewalk. All right. It's a rule. But no, Totoro hasn't made it yet, nor Kappa's. And the reason why, for me, it feels like the perfect name for an incredibly fat tabby cat, right?
Okay.
With the belly that you're just like,
Yeah.
oh.
Okay. All right.
But we don't have that. Dog names, they got to be quick. You got to be able to yell them. But cats can have fun things like Professor Bubblesworth the
Just
third.
name one of your dogs the sound the cat bus makes. Just do that one. I want to see Rocky.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can come over here now?
Phonetically spell that out for it. And then, yeah. That'd be good. That'd be really good. That'd be really good. Well, Steph, any other thoughts on Totoro?
Yes, actually. I did think of a perfect live cast.
Oh, yeah. I missed that one. I'm sorry. Yeah, tell me about it. I'm sorry.
You're good.
You
Okay.
spent time doing that.
I did. So that's why I was like, we can't let it go.
Nope,
so I don't know enough child actors to redo the OG. But what I was thinking
and that'll put you in a blacklist if you start searching child actor.
Right? I'm good.
Yeah.
But I figure if we redid it, it could, and especially being live action, it could be like a post-apocalyptic world that is ruled by the forest god Totoro. And you can still have like the sick mom and May goes missing and those things. And I thought it could go one of two ways. You either have it like kind of fun, more hijinks, and then more like serious, like drama. So the more fun cast would be for Satsuki would be Stephanie Sue, who's in Marvelous Miss Maisel. Have you ever seen that? May would be Aquafina.
Okay.
First thought, that's the first person I thought of to play May, as an older May.
That's real good. That's real good.
And for Kanta, Manny Jacinto, who was from Jason in The Good Place.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So, right?
Yep.
So that'd be funny enough. They would be the more serious one, though. I'd want Jessica May Lee, who's Alina Starkov in the Netflix series. Have you seen that? Where it's got like it's based off a book series as well. Bone? No.
Shadow and Bone.
Shadow and Bone. There we go.
I think I've seen the first episode. Logan, I watched it and I was like, I don't know, this is my thing. But I think I know you're talking about.
Prince Caspian's in it.
Okay.
So, but the
calm down, Steph. Calm down. Yeah.
Alina Starkov, though, I would want her to be Sasuke, and then in this version, I actually thought Aubrey Anderson Emmett, who is from Modern Family, she plays Lily.
Okay. Yeah.
Imagine a sullen teenager version of May. Come on.
That'd be good. That'd be really good. Be really good.
And
I can see that.
For Kanta would be Andrew Koji, who's Assam and Warrior.
Okay.
Because I love him. So
nice. So you left out a very serious character though. Who's doing the body work for Totoro in both of these? Like who's the CG capture suit for Totoro?
Jack Black.
Yes, it has to be. And I know that he was he's Bowser now, but let's be honest, I don't see anyone else doing that justice.
He'd be the only, because I don't really want Totoro to talk. I feel like that would be really like,
yeah.
But if anyone is gonna do it, it just has to be. It'd have to be Jack Black.
Or do you go like way weird choice and pick somebody like Hugh Jackman? Like it's just like
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yes. Well, I'm thinking Hugh Jackman's got some dancing chops. He's got some dancing chops.
Oh, that's true.
The Rock, Dwayne, May as well. But I'm thinking in particular some good chops there. I thought also Nathan Lane might be fun to watch be Totoro.
Ooh, yeah.
Or Andy Serkis can do anything, It's typically maybe in the darker one, maybe it's Andy Serkis that's doing it, maybe. I don't know. But then again, I've just picked all white actors, and we were trying to, keep it not a whitewashed version. But let's be honest, what race is Totoro? Is he Japanese? I don't think so.
No, they even said they made up his race specifically for this movie. He's just
did they?
Like
they didn't find that in nature. They didn't find Totoro in nature.
No,
and go,
no. Especially the little blue one with his little pack of acorns.
I love when people feel the need to say things like, "Totoro doesn't exist. We made this up." Like, I'm so glad that we need to just make sure that you're aware that we did not. Totoro doesn't live in the woods. Don't go look in the woods in Japan. He's not there.
No. Yeah, don't do that.
Oh man, that is good stuff. Well, Steph, if somebody felt like they need more Stephanie, where can they find you in the interwebs?
So in the interwebs, the place where I let my brain come out the most is going to be Instagram. And so I am at yours truly 289. And I try to actually have Lola has her own Instagram. So if you would like to, maybe the twice a year that I remember to post anything on that account, Lola _the showgirl. So
yes.
That's all.
I do know that account exists. Philosophically, though, I'm not allowing myself to follow a. It's not just you. It's not just you. I've got another good friend, and I was going to say, just can't. It's not my thing. It's not my content. Yeah. Not my content, and it's just going to be a lot of this. It's going to be a lot of that. Okay, next one. But that's that. Well, Steph, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you talking Totoro with me, and we already have like 4 other things that we were going like. Other topics. Princess Bride is on the list. Yes. The Last Unicorn. I watched that with my kids and they didn't get it, so there's that one as well. There's several that we can come back to and go, this is good stuff. This is good content. So
I am so glad that you asked me, because anytime to talk about Totoro, which I think is like, I'm glad that Miyazaki is getting a whole month from you. So yes. I'm excited.
Yes. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Love you.
Love you too. Thank you for listening to the show. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, which will be continuing in Miyazaki May. And we're going to be talking about Princess Mononoke with Mikey Burgett from the Screen Nerds podcast. So check out the show notes for links to all our socials, Discord, merch, all those things. And I think that's it. So until next time.
Peace out, Seacrest.